Good day, everybody. Matt here again, coming to you from a rather out of the way and admittedly quite run down graveyard here in central Essex County. I'm about 15-minute drive away from the home farm, 15, 20 kilometers, something like that, so pretty close. And the reason I'm here is that grave right behind me there, that tall spire, is the grave of my 4 times great-grandparents, William and Eliza Miles, who in 1848 arrived in Canada from County Cork in southwest Ireland. So that's right at the height of the famine. And when I started this project, despite the fact that I do have Irish and Scottish ancestry within my family, my last name's McIntosh, I had no idea I had a direct famine era connection in that. So this was something I've just learned, and it's absolutely incredible. Anyway, in 1847 alone, 1847, commonly called Black 47. The famine was bad before, but Black 47, it got even worse. The last of government relief schemes dried up. And as John Kelly says, he actually entitles an entire chapter in his book, The Graves Are Walking, chapter 14, I believe, I shall arise and go now. And to paraphrase John Kelly, to arise and go now, or I shall arise and go now, is what between 400,000 and 500,000 Irish people did in 1847 alone. So that's 400,000 to 500,000 people immigrating, often on what were called coffin ships. Not coffin as in like, I've got a cold, of course, but coffin as in stick you in the ground in the grave. And aptly named, of course, because these ships were totally unfit for purpose. They were hardly seaworthy, a lot of them. Conditions on board were horrendous. I read somewhere that anywhere between 20 to 30, 40% even sometimes of people who would take these ships, overcrowded, disease-ridden, typhus, famine fever, all this stuff, not enough food and water, 20, 30, 40% of them would die before they even got to America. So that's Canada and the United States. Now, of the people that came to Canada, which I think was about 100,000 in 1847, about 40,000 of those ended up making their way down to Toronto, and then further afield and further south from that. And both in 1847 and 1848, 1848 being the year that William and Eliza Miles came here, they were part of that group. They came all the way to, well, as far southwest as they could go. And when I first learned about them coming to this area and the fact that they were still buried here, I got thinking, like, why the hell would you come to Essex County of all places? Like, it's you had this arduous journey to get here, and you just continued to make it longer. Why would you come here? And then I actually came to this graveyard, and I got looking around and like, okay, I think I get it now. Because not only did they come here, but there's a whole bunch of other old graves in this place for people from different parts of Ireland. The gravestones say County Carlow, County Tyrone. A few of them even give the year that they came, and I think the one even says the famine of 47. Like, it's pretty wild. I mean, it's hard to read a lot of these things, but it's clear that there is a very strong Irish emigre community right here. Again, 15 minutes away from where our home farm is. And then I got doing a little bit more reading yet, and I'm sure you can hear it a little bit, but this road back here, so that's County Road 46. In the mid-19th century, around the first quarter or so to half of the 19th century here in Essex County, there was really only 2 to 3 main roads. County Road 46 was one of them, and I did a little bit of digging in some county historical archives. In those archives, it lists County Road 46 as the main route for Irish immigration and Irish settler communities in and around the famine era, which makes total sense. I guess that's why I'm seeing all of these graves with all of these names. And I can only hope that part of why William and Eliza extended their journeys as far as they did is because maybe they knew somebody here. Maybe there was a warm hearth waiting for them, and they knew that, and if they could just get here, they'd survive. And survive they did, because their death day, I can't remember what it says for Eliza, but William lived till he was 90, born in 1789, lived through the Great Famine, died at age 90. That is a feat. Again, as I say, I was unaware of this familial connection when I started this project. It's been really cool to learn about it. Adds a whole nother layer that I have to dive into now. And while I don't know their exact story, I don't know whether William and Eliza Miles, maybe they were lucky ones. Maybe they had a little bit of cash. Maybe they got through relatively unscathed. Maybe they didn't. Maybe they had just as hard a time as anybody else. But either way, it's individual stories like this that really, they help you understand both people and place. Whether it's the story of the famine itself or just the development of Canada, at least from the European perspective. Everything's connected, and it's been really, really exciting to learn this and to frankly talk about it and share it with folks. So again, I appreciate your time. Hopefully this is interesting. If it's not, I'm not sure why you've watched to the end, but hey, thanks anyway. We'll let you go and we'll talk to you again shortly.